Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. Hey there, everyone. Back for another album review. That's right. So if you're one of my regular viewers, you already know that this is a continuation from the last review. Last review, I did Bush 16 Stone. This is Bush Razorblade Suitcase. Now, just in case you did not watch my review for 16 Stone, I need to point something out real fast because this is a Canadian thing. Literally a Canadian thing. Okay, you'll notice here it says Bush. You'll notice here it says BushX. Now, my original copy of this CD had the word BushX on it. Nice little X up here. The reason why is in Canada, there was already a band called Bush that was established from like the 1960s that had a following enough that Bush could not be called Bush in Canada, so they had to become BushX. So only here in Canada will you find Bush albums where it has an X on it, being BushX. All right, now that we got that out of the way, this is the follow-up to 16 Stone, and if this had been the first album, there never would have been a follow-up album. The reason why is this album does not have any of the songs with the hooks and the grabs that the first album had. Rule of thumb with bands, second albums generally tend to be one of two things. They're either all leftovers from the previous album, or it's all brand new crap they rush to get written so they can record it and put it out. This album covers both of those. Some of the songs on here really sound like they're really good, well planned out, well thought out, artistic songs. And that's one thing I got to say about Bush. There really is an artisan kind of atmosphere to Bush. This one is a hell of a lot more grunge than the last album is. I mean, earlier grunge. There's a lot of influence on here. I'm thinking the Nirvana took influence from. There's even a lot of punk elements in here to a degree. And it's funny that I say that when I'm saying artistic. It's in the approach to it. It's very alternative, very DIY. It was weird because I was going through here trying to find a producer so I could blame a producer for not putting this album, polishing up and turning it into a little bit more of a solid, cohesive product. And there is no producer listed. There's a person listed for recording it, but there isn't even technically a mixer or an engineer on here. So I don't know what the hell the story is with this album, and I've never bothered to research it. What I will say is there are a couple decent tracks on here, and the one that I distinctly remember being a single is not one of the ones I'd call a decent track. So the album opens up with Personal Hallway, which I think is kind of just a throwaway. Lets you kind of know what you're in for, but not a really good way to start the album. Greedy Fly would have been a better way to start the album because Greedy Fly has a great build to it. Greedy Fly to me feels like a completely artistic piece with some well thought out and well layered and put together musical narrative in it, which is fantastic. Then we get into the one song I remember being a single off of here, which was Swallowed. Swallowed. Oh, yeah. It is one of the very few songs on this album that honestly would have been a half decent single to release, but I don't like the song. Insect Kin, yeah, whatever. Cold Contagious, whatever. A Tendency to Start Fires. This one I thought was really cool. Only because this was like one of the more interesting tracks at this point in the album. That goes on to Mouth. I think Mouth was a single somewhere along the way, and if Mouth wasn't a single, it was in one or two movies at least, or maybe on TV or something like that, because I do remember it being out there, and Mouth isn't a bad tune. Lyrically, I kind of appreciate it, although I'm going to say I've always kind of also made fun of the song a little bit, especially when he's talking about, getting wrecked in her mouth kind of thing, and all I can think of is, a chick with chipped teeth or braces, and the braces is a really bad joke, more chipped teeth. Mouth is followed up by Straight No Chaser, which does nothing for me. History isn't bad. It's got a groove to it. It's got a flow to it. Something I can really respect and enjoy. So that's not bad. Synapse, nah. Communicator's got a cool jazz kind of groove riff to it, which is really enjoyable. I really get into that one. And that's kind of where the album more or less finishes for me, because you got Bone Driven after that, and then you got Distant Voices. And while Distant Voices isn't horrible, it's not great either. The whole way around, the album's not bad. And if you're looking for, okay, so here's the thing. This is definitely more of an artistic sounding and feeling album than this is. This is definitely much more of a commercial album. So if you're looking for something a little more artistic, a little more indie sounding, a little more different, yet the same. That's one of the problems with this album. Sorry, I got something in my eye here. They're definitely, like, by today's standard, this is kind of a little boring and basic. By the standards of when it was released, this definitely would have been a lot more artistic, a lot more enjoyable for being something a little different. Not a lot different, but a little different. Like I said, it's still grunge, but it's grunge that's got a little more art and soul to it. It's still punky, but it's got more art and soul to it. The whole way around, though, if you want to discover whether or not you like Bush, I would go here first and then go here. Not the album I would use to get introduced to Bush. Realistically, I mean, I don't even know if I'd ever buy this album. I have owned this album twice now. I told this story with 16 Stone. I never bought this one as a teenager, but when I got together with my ex-wife, she had this album. And I lost it in the divorce, and I don't give a shit. And then I get together with my dear loving Tracy, and her dad, my father-in-law. He goes around, I swear to God, all year long at garage sales and stuff like that, finding these albums, just a giant mixed bag of albums. And then, like at Christmas time, he just offers me a giant mix of albums. Hey, you want these? Yeah, okay, I'll take them. I'll do reviews for them. So that is how I have ended up with this in my collection twice now, even though it is an album I really have no use for. The world works in mysterious ways. Or as a vampire. I'm not sure which. All right, folks. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. Am I being too hard on this album? Has Bush released any actual albums since? I know they went back out on tour, but have they released any new albums? Is it actually worth checking out? Like, is there anything that's actually quality on those albums? Let me know. That's what the comment section is for. Drop me a line. Let me know, folks. While you're down there, check out the links that are down there as well. That would be cool. I am going to have a P.O. box maybe coming in the near future for album donations. If you think that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments as well. Otherwise, folks, hit the like button, subscribe button, the bell for notifications. Peace, love, take care.